From this presentation, we will understand string formatting in details. This is part 1 of string formatting. In this presentation, we will discuss a total of 3 topics. Let's see what are those topics. The first topic is string formatting. The second topic is percentage formatting. And the third topic is str.format function. We will understand these topics in detail. Let's first understand what is string formatting. In order to understand string formatting, we need to understand the meaning of string interpolation. Because string formatting and string interpolation, they both mean the same thing. Now, in order to understand the meaning of string interpolation, we first need to understand the meaning of interpolation. So let's first understand what is interpolation. Interpolation is the insertion of something of a different nature into something else. So if we want to insert something into something, and if they both are of different nature, then that is what is called interpolation. So interpolation is all about inserting something of a different nature into something else. Now we need to precisely define what is string interpolation. As we now know what is interpolation, we need to define what is string interpolation, and eventually this means that we will define string formatting. Because string interpolation and string formatting are one and the same. So let's understand what is the meaning of string interpolation or string formatting. The process of inserting an object into a predefined string is called string interpolation or string formatting. So, string interpolation or string formatting is the process of inserting an object, some external object, into a predefined string. If let's say we define a string, and if we want to insert some external object in that string, then we can do that. And this process is called string interpolation or string formatting. String interpolation goes with the definition of interpolation very well. Interpolation is all about inserting something of a different nature into something else. Here we are saying that we want to insert an object, an external object, then we are trying to insert that object into a predefined string, which is of different nature. So this is all about string interpolation. Let's now understand what is percentage formatting. Percentage formatting is one such technique which we can use to format a string. It is one of the oldest techniques used to insert an object into a string. So with this technique, we can insert an object into a string, which means we can do string interpolation. Or in other words, we can say that we can do string formatting. In order to understand how percentage formatting works, we need to consider one simple example. And for that, we need to open our command prompt and we need to activate the Python interactive shell. After activating the Python interactive shell, we are ready to type in the commands. Let's type name equal to Jaspreet. Let's say that the name of the person is Jaspreet. This means that now name variable is pointing to this string Jaspreet. If we hit enter, we will not get any error message because this command is correct. Now let's type my name is %s and then full stop. So we have this entire string because this sequence is enclosed within double quotes, as we can observe. After this, we need to type percentage. Now we can add a space here to improve readability. So we need to type percentage. Then after this, we can add a space or we may eliminate the space. It is totally our choice. Thereafter, we need to add name, which means we need to add the name of the variable which we want to include in our string. With the help of this command, we would be able to include the string pointed by this variable name, which is Jaspreet, inside this string. So We are trying to insert an external object into the string, predefined string. This string is defined by us. We want to insert this string inside the string, and for this we have written this command. After %, we need to specify the name of the variable which we want to include in our string. Name is pointing this string. Eventually, at runtime, this string will be included inside this string. This is called placeholder. So %s is holding the place of this string. So at runtime, this placeholder will be replaced by this string Jasprit. As we are providing name here, this means the content pointed by this variable will be provided to this %s placeholder. We need to specify the exact position where we want to insert the external object. After this string, we need to provide %sign and then the name of the variable which we want to include in our string. So we need to provide the object here. If we hit enter, we will get my name is Jasprit as the string. So this is the basic technique and one of the oldest technique to insert an external object into a string. Now let's discuss the second point. We are allowed to include multiple variables in our string. As we have seen the example, we can include one single variable, but this is not the convention. This is not the restriction. We can provide multiple variables. For example, if we type name equal to Jasprit, hit enter. Now let's type city equal to Delhi and hit enter. Now let's type my name is %s and I live in %s. We need to enclose the string within double quotes, although we can include this string in single quotes also. After this, we need to add this %sign, and within these round brackets, we need to specify name and city, as we want to include the contents of these two variables inside this string. Here we have two placeholders. We have this first placeholder %s here, and we have the second placeholder here. The first placeholder will be replaced by the content of this variable name, the content which is pointed by this variable. Name is pointing to the string Jasprit, so eventually this placeholder will be replaced by Jasprit. Similarly, this placeholder will take this string Delhi because we have provided city here as the second variable. I hope this idea is making sense. Also, you need to understand that %s is not the only placeholder we can include. If let's say we are interested in including a decimal value, or in other words, an integer value, then in that case we need to replace %s by %d. So s will be replaced by d in that case. If we want to include a floating point value, then we should replace d or s by f. So we should put f in place of s or d. So this will be %f. So we have different placeholders for different types of values. Here we need to add %s because we are interested in including a string inside another string. If we hit enter, we will get this string, my name is Jasprit and I live in Delhi. So these two placeholders are successfully replaced by their appropriate strings. Now let's move on to the next topic, which is str.format function. Up to this point, we have learned what is string formatting and we have understood what is % formatting. With the help of this technique, we can include an external object into a predefined string. Now let's understand what is str.format function, which is also the function used to format a string. So, as I have told, str.format function is used to format a string. We can format any string with this format function. str represents the string which we want to format. In this technique, the placeholders are replaced by curly braces. So in place of placeholders, we will have curly braces. Now let's open our command prompt and let's type name equal to Jaspreet and let's hit enter. This time let's type city equal to Delhi. Then again we need to hit enter. Now let's type my name is a pair of curly braces, then and I live in, then a pair of curly braces. After this entire string ends, we need to add a dot and then the name of the function, which is format. Then after this, within these round brackets, we need to provide our variables. So in place of percentage, we now have this function format, and to this format function, we need to provide two variables because we want to include the contents of these two variables inside our string. That is why we need to provide two variables here, name and city. In place of %s, we now have these curly braces. So now these curly braces will be replaced by the contents of name and city. This pair of curly braces will be replaced by the content of name, the content pointed by name in other words, and this pair of curly braces will be replaced by the content pointed by city variable. Now if we hit enter, we will get the string my name is Jaspreet and I live in Delhi.
Now let's discuss the second point. Referencing variables through indexing is possible. We can reference variables through indexing. Let's understand this point with the help of an example. Let's open our command prompt once again and we will take the same variables name and city with the same values Jaspreet and Delhi. So name is pointing to Jaspreet and city is pointing to Delhi. Now let's type this command. My name is within curly braces 0 and I live in within curly braces 1 and then full stop. So this is the string and then dot format. Within these round brackets, we need to specify name and city. With the help of indexing, we can refer these variables. These variables have indices 0 and 1 respectively. So name has index 0 and city has index 1. If let's say we have n variables, then indexing will start from 0 and it will go up to n-1. In this case, it will start from 0, name has index 0 and city has index 1. We can refer these variables through indexing as well, and that's what I have done here. Here I have placed 0 in order to reference this variable, and here I have placed 1 in order to reference this variable. If we hit enter, we will get my name is Jaspreet and I live in Delhi. We'll get the exact same string because this index is pointing to name variable and hence the contents of this variable will be placed over here. Similarly, the contents of this variable will be placed over here. And in this way, we will get this string, my name is Jaspreet and I live in Delhi. Now, what is the benefit of indexing? With the help of indexing, we can refer these variables in any order. We can place 1 here and 0 here. In that way, we will get my name is Delhi and I live in Jaspreet, which does not make any sense although, but I hope you got the idea. So this is how we can leverage the power of indexing.
Now let's move on to the next point. To improve the readability, keywords can also be used. We can use keywords to improve readability of our code. For example, if we type n equal to Jaspreet and if we hit enter, we will not get any error message because n is a valid name. Now let's type c equal to Delhi and hit enter. Let's type my name is, within these curly brackets we need to specify name, and I live in, within these curly brackets we need to specify city. After the string ends, we need to write dot format, and then within these round brackets we need to specify name equal to n, comma city equal to c. So in place of these actual variables n and c, we can refer these keywords name and city. So to improve the readability, keywords can also be used. So let's say that we have these two variables n and c. Now we don't want to use n and c inside our string. We want to improve the readability of the string. Now this string is making more sense. My name is name and I live in city. So it is making more sense, right? Now in place of n and c, we can use these keywords name and city. This is the syntax we need to follow. If we hit enter, we'll get my name is Jaspreet and I live in Delhi. Let's move on to the next point. Format specifiers like f for float, b for binary, d for integer can be used. So we can use f for float, b for binary, d for integer, and these are the common ones. So we are allowed to use format specifiers with str.format. For example, let's type I got within these curly brackets 0:f. After this curly bracket, percentage, marks in English. And after this closing quote, we need to type dot format. And to this dot format, we need to pass 55.66. So we are passing a floating point value. And here we have 0:f. So here we have a format specifier f. But what about this 0:? We will understand this in a moment. Now if we hit enter, we will get I got 55.660000 percentage marks in English. These zeros are added by Python. We don't have to worry about it. 55.66 percentage marks in English. The thing that we need to focus right now is that this entire thing is replaced by 55.660000, the value which we have provided here. Now why is that the case? Here we need to understand that the first value in the format method will be treated as a float because of 0:f. Here 0 indicates the index of the first item you provide to the format function. Here the first item is 55.66 and this is the only item. Index of this item is 0. Here we have specified 0. Although we can eliminate this also, and in place we can also write :f. That is also fine. We need to follow this syntax if we want to include a format specifier. So in place of 0:f, we can also write :f. We can eliminate 0. But it is a good practice to specify the index also. So here we have specified 0, which indicates that the first value in the format method will be treated as a float. Index of this value is 0 and we are referencing it, and we want to print the floating point result. That's why f is used here. This is a floating point value. Eventually this will be printed on the screen. I hope this idea is clear. Now what happens if you provide an integer? An integer can be provided in place of float. It is perfectly allowed. Let's again type the same string, and then after the string we need to type dot format 55. Within these round brackets we need to pass 55. Now if we hit enter, we will get I got 55.000000 percentage marks in English. So automatically Python is converting 55 to a floating point value, because here we have specified f. We are telling Python to print the first value as a floating point value. I hope this idea is clear. Okay, let's move on to the next point. Providing a string in place of float will result in error because Python will not implicitly convert a string into a float. This is what we need to understand. For example, let's again type the same string. I got 0:f percentage marks in English. After the string, str.format, and this time we are passing a string, not a number. So this is a string because 55 is enclosed within single quotes. If we hit enter, we will get value error. Unknown format code F for object of type str. Python is letting us know that it cannot understand what you have written. Here we are providing a string and we are saying Python to print the string as a floating point value, and Python doesn't know what to do in this case. That is why we are getting this message, unknown format code F for object of type str. I hope this point is also clear. Let's move on to the next point. The length of the values after the decimal point can be controlled. We can control the length of the values that we want to print after the decimal point. Again, we need to consider the same example, but this time the value that we are providing to this format function is 55.657453, and here we are providing 0 colon dot 2 f. We are well familiar about 0 colon f, but in place of this f we now have dot 2f. Now what is the meaning of this dot 2? Here we are saying Python that the first value should be treated as a floating point value, but after the decimal point we just want to print two values. We just want Python to print two values after the decimal point. This is the meaning of this entire thing, 0 colon dot 2f. If we hit enter, we'll get I got 55.65 percentage marks in English. We are only getting two values after the decimal point. Although to the format function, we are providing 55.657453. But in the output, we are only getting 55.65. I hope this idea is completely clear and the concept of str.format is also clear. Note that the function is the format function. Here str is the string to which we apply the format function. So we are done with all the topics. We have understood what is string formatting, we have understood what is percentage formatting, and we have learned what is str.format function. Okay friends, this is it for now. Thank you for watching this presentation. I will see you in the next one.